is pinned in the comment section right there is a link to join our Discord. It's a couple bucks a month. Join our Patreon. Both have individual access points to our Discord. Johnny Says Boxing VIP Insiders on YouTube. All get you access to the Discord, couple bucks a month. Join our growing community. We are at 340 JSB Insiders. We have boxing, MMA, NHL, NBA, American football. We're adding baseball this season. We started it in July. It's a growing project. It's a growing community. Click the link to find out more. We have fights going on tonight in about 7 hours in Japan. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to leave the window open for you guys to pick our brain on whatever fights you want this weekend. There are, there's the MVP card with Holly Holm and Stephanie Hahn. Wherever you are in the world, check your sports book. I know that the two books I use here in Sydney finally opened up some bets. Now, tonight's card in Japan, it's only giving me one fight, and at least they're giving us a method of victory. So I want to start there as you guys are tapping in. Give me a couple minutes to go on this little rant because I want to cover Ioka versus Ordosgoitti real quick. All right, guys. So this is a fight that's taking place tonight. Ioka versus Ordosgoitti. I'm going to pull up the odds right now. This is Bet365. I talked about this in the Discord. I shared my little voice memo breakdown of this fight in the Discord, and I'm going to do the same here. We'll pull up some video cues, and we'll pull up the box recs. We'll go over the resumes, all the talking points, right? The very first talking point, though, for you boys is the value here on the money line. I wouldn't bet this. $1.05 Ioka. I think Ioka has no problem handling Michael Ordosgoitti, but $1.05, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? So what we're going to have to do, and I said this yesterday, if our sports books weren't going to give us method of victory options, I wasn't going to bet on this fight. But lo and behold, options have been released. You have Ioka by knockout at $1.80. 100 on Ioka gets your money back plus $80, so an 80% return. The decision is $2.10. 100 on them gets your money back plus $110. So you're in the green there on points. Now, the draw's 23-1. The underdog Ordosgoitti, you put 100 on them to win by knockout. You get your money back plus 1,600, and even bigger on points, 22-1. And the reason for that is Ordosgoitti, he has a record, I think, of 15-1 with 14 knockouts. Now, the knock on him, and I'll tell you the knocks on him first, why I think it's just a complete and utter mismatch. A positive thing on Michael Ordosgoitti is the fact that, he does have a 94% career knockout to win ratio. He only has one loss, which was a points decision loss. He's going to be the naturally bigger guy. He's the younger guy. He's in his early to mid-20s. We know Ioka's been in the game forever. Ioka might be 36 years old now. So he has youth on his side. He has size on his side. Also, this is his natural division. We know Ioka is moving up to a new division. This will be his first fight in this division, trying to become a fifth. I think he's on quest to attempt to be a 5-division world champion. If everything goes the way he thinks it's going to go, that's Ioka. Now, the things that aren't on Ordosgoitti's side is that resume. It's tough to get past. He's never fought. He's Venezuelan Colombian, right? But he's from Venezuela. He's fought out of Venezuela one time. That was the WBC Grand Prix card in Riyadh, and he lost that on points. Now, of his 16 pro fights, he's only fought 4 fighters with winning records, and we'll bring that up as well. And, when you're looking at a guy like Ioka, he is coming off 2 straight losses, 2 decision losses. He, 55, 60% career knockout to win ratio. He's a smaller guy. He's an older guy. He is coming up. So you always have to keep that in mind when we're talking about. I told you guys last week why I like the over Junto Nakatani. And when everybody was rushing to the gates to take Junto by knockout, I was like, hold on. This is Junto's first fight at 122. We must be weary. We talk about it all the time. Winning money betting on boxing isn't just about picking winners. It's about understanding patterns. It's about knowing the game. It's about knowing the sport. It's about knowing statistics of fighters moving up divisions. And statistically speaking, the first few fights in a newer division, sometimes you don't see knockout artists continue to get knockouts until they get comfortable. The best example of this in recent memory is David Benavidez. We saw this. in his first few fights at light heavyweight, and then he finally started figuring that puzzle out in his last fight against Anthony Yard. We saw it with Junto Nakatani, another knockout artist, moving up from 18 to 22. His first fight this past weekend against Logan, won a very close UD, when a lot of people picked him to win by knockout. So what we're getting here is another guy, a smaller guy, an older guy, a more seasoned guy, a more high-level career, though. When you're looking at the things that are going against Ioka, you're thinking about the size, you're thinking about the age. When you're thinking about the things that are on his side, you're obviously thinking about his pedigree, his world-level experience, the champion mindset that he carries, the legend of Ioka. So let's take a look at that resume I talked about from Michael Ordosgoitti. Ordosgoitia. Okay, we'll share this tab instead. Now, when you look at this name, everybody, how do you pronounce that? It's spelled Goitti, so Goiti, but you think it'd be Giotti. So I don't know how they pronounce it. Michael Ordosgoitti. Either way, that's just semantics. Younger dude, like I said, 24 years old. He's going to be, he's going to have a inch height advantage, 15-1. Look, on paper, there's going to be a lot of people picking the dog, a lot of boxing bettors, casuals, who are going to see the 94% career knockout to win ratio, but oh, this is easy money. They're going to see the age, they're going to see the youth, they're going to see the height advantage, and they're going to say, hey, they're going to see, from Colombia, lives in Venezuela, he's a live dog. But you got to look deeper. You got to look deeper, because then what you do is when you put just a little bit of emphasis into your work, and whatever you guys do in the world, however you keep the lights on, however you make your money, be thorough with it. Don't look for shortcuts. The most frustrating people in my experience as a human so far of doing business with or just working with or playing sports with or coaching are those people who try to find shortcuts. And there's one thing with finding shortcuts in your work and then being successful. There's another thing with finding shortcuts and it becomes part of your DNA and personality to cut corners and you never do anything great. You do things we used to say in leadership, I used to work for a leadership company. We used to say doing things just good enough. You're doing things just good enough to get by. And then we'd say, where else is that showing up in your life? Look a little bit deeper. Spend a little bit more time on research. Don't just scroll records. Don't just look at the odds. It takes a set. I'm not even asking you guys to watch tape. I'll watch tape for you, and then you could ask me what I see. And have fun trying to find tape on this guy. But look, here's his resume. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a layup, in my opinion. This is a layup for Ioka. His last fight against Herrera, 4-5. He fought a guy who's 11-0. That's the WBC Grand Prix. That's his only loss. That's also his only fight outside of Venezuela. Fights a guy 20-11, won, 15-6, won. Those are 2 wins with winning records. Everything else from there, 8-11, 1-2, 2-2, 2-6. You get the point here. 6-4, 4-16. You get the point here. And then, even if you want to just, you got to do your due diligence and remind yourself who he's fighting. Now, you got to, like, Ioka's fight style. He's a boxer puncher. Ioka, one of my favorite things about his fight style is his body punching. And we know whenever there's a gap in levels, whenever there's a gap in skill set, a gap in talent, just a gap in experience, you usually see it in guys getting hurt to the body. You usually see guys biting on feints or trying to punch with their opponent and then, getting set up or getting trapped and then getting hurt to the body. I could see Ioka hurting Ordosgoitti to the body based off of their styles. Now, he 50, you're looking at just the stats. Well, one has 4 losses. One only has 1 loss. One has a 52% career knockout to win ratio. The other one's a 94% career knockout. How is this guy the favorite? Well, if you watch boxing, you would know why this guy's a favorite. This guy's a legend in Japan. He is already, 36 now? Like I said, he's coming off those 2 decision losses to Puma. He has a win over Frankie Rodriguez. It just kind of shows you has a win over, did he draw? He fought Franco twice, right? Yeah, he drew Franco, and then he beat Franco in the draw. I mean, I don't know. Rewatch that fight. You tell me what you saw in that fight. I mean, it was really close. It could have gone either way. But Josh Franco is Bam Rodriguez's brother, and the win, like I said, against Frankie Rod down at, I think he fought him in 2021. That was also a close fight. Scorecards were a little bit all over the place, but you get the point. The guy is moving up a division. He's a living Japanese legend. He's fought at the highest level for years. He is 36 years old. He's fighting a younger guy. Let's take a look at those odds. Here's where I'm leaning. And I'm not like whatever your unit is. If your unit's $1,000, if your unit's $100, if your unit's $10, if it's $50, just go half unit tonight. I'm going a half unit here. I'm gonna take Ioka by knockout. In conventional wisdom, my conventional wisdom is telling me take him on points based off of the fighter moving up into a new division. But that we saw it with Junto versus Logan. We saw it with more recently Benavidez with Vostik, former world champion. Benavidez versus Morrell moving up. I don't think Michael or Ordosgoitti is even in the same class. I think Kazuto Ioka will stop him late. I think his precision punching, his boxer punching style, I think the pedigree, and I think the body punching is going to add up. It's only a 10 rounder. So I'm going half unit on the stoppage at $1.80. That's going to be my bet. I'm going to put it up in the Discord. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to go a whole unit on the stoppage, and I'll put that up in the Discord. That'll be my, I guess we could call that our prop of the week. We don't have a lot of action this week. We're kind of, waiting for the 2026 to come here. But I'm probably going to build a parlay around the $1.82. So we'll know going in tomorrow if my parlay will be live, because I'm not going to build a parlay around the $1.05 money line. I think Ioka wins. I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to gamble two ways. Some of you guys will be like, well, why don't you just hedge? Why don't you just go Ioka on points and Ioka on stoppage? I'm selling out here. I'm going to stand on business. I think Ioka should stop him. And that's where I stand with that. We're about 13 minutes in. We're floating between 25 and 40 people in the live. Wherever you are, I say thank you. It's New Year's Eve here. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I'm going to take your questions now. And I appreciate you guys. We've had a great year. We started these live streams in July. We started the Discord in July, and we've seen massive growth. The Patreon we started 3 weeks ago. We have about 11 Patreons and 340 Discordians, JSB insiders. So I thank everybody here. I'm gonna start taking your questions. Sup, Johnny? Checking in. Have a great day. You too, big dog. Salute, sent from Pet, my guy. Wise. We got some wise heads here. Ioka by decision. Yeah. Okay. And there's definitely an argument for that. From the tape you watched, do you think Michael is durable enough? I only watched the fight, the WBC Grand Prix. We could, damn it. This is one of the things that I don't like about YouTube. I wish right now, sent from Pet, we could pull up the tape on YouTube, because the WBC Grand Prix fight is there. But if I pull it up, we'll get flagged. I'll try to pull up increments of it, and then as I'm searching for this, I'll get to your other questions. Oscar from the Bay, how do you see the Yankee Rivera fight going? We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, Yankees coming off that weird ass draw he had with that one of the weirdest styles you'll ever see. And some people be like, "Oh, Rivera got exposed." It's like, motherfucker, you try to fight a dude who's dancing when he's fighting and headbutting you and elbowing you. So it's an interesting fight. I need to watch a little bit more tape on Boma. It's a tough fight though, mate. And a lot of people now think that Rivera is not who people think. People are saying Rivera is not who he thinks he is. So that's something to think about. How do you spell this guy's name? Ordosgoitti. Yeah, you can't even find this fight on YouTube. I'm going to go to YouTube real quick for the boys. Ordosgoitti. I'm not getting anything, guys. I'm not getting anything. We're trying to find tape right now on Michael Ordosgoitti. It's not, and I got to be honest with you. If I do find tape, it's not. I'm just doing this for Sent from Pet to answer his question here. What's up, DJ? What's good? What's crack-a-lacking? RTV. What is this? Boxing highlights. I don't want to get. See, the thing is, I don't want to get copywritten here if I play this for you. I found there's a live channel right now streaming. And how are these guys getting away with streaming these fights? That's Ioka. They're just playing Ioka highlights. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to get flagged here. Hope I didn't miss too much. You didn't, bro. I was just breaking down the fight tonight. Check your books. We got this fight in Japan, Ioka versus Ordosgoitti. I'm taking I like Ioka to win that fight, and I'm gonna roll the dice a little bit to take him to win by stoppage. The narrative really isn't in my favor. I like what Sent from Pet's gonna take him on points. I kind of like that bet too. Ioka on decision. Ioka by decision is the statistical logical bet, only because you have the older guy who's moving up in Ioka. Ioka's 36 now. Ordosgoitti's 25, and it's Ioka's first fight moving up to bantam. So we know what we've seen recently, just last week with Junto moving up to a new division. I tend to side on the air of caution when picking method of victories for even big punchers. Will they win by knockout in a new division moving up? I always generally will go points. But what I'm thinking with this is why I'm going to go against my own reasoning is that gap of experience. I think this is a layup. No shade to. He's going to be tough. I think he's going to be tough while it lasts. I like Ioka's body work. I like his output. I like his volume. So yeah, I'm leaning on the $1.80. Check your books right now. Let me know what you're getting there. And then let's pull up these odds. So Rivera, we'll pull these up real quick. Barigua, Borera, Barigua, Borera. So we watched Yankees last fight. It was a draw, real weird fight. Angelino Cordova was throwing elbows, headbutts. He might have threw a flying knee. It was a very rabid punching. Cordova's whole game plan was like, let me fight Rivera on the cusp of illegality. Is illegality a word? Let me do everything I can bordering legal that I could get away with that crosses the line of being illegal, like the headbutts, like the elbows, like the rabid punches. And he just totally had Rivera out of his game. And it was a draw. It was a weird fight to watch. I think it might have been one of those, was it a Pro Box card? I know we got to see it on YouTube. I was live streaming it. Now, he's fighting at Jonathan Gonzalez, man. And guys, we're getting tested this weekend, boys. So we're going to know, fingers crossed, and I'm not a big superstitious guy, but this week of boxing from now until the MVP card, guys, it's either going to, I don't know how it's going to play out. You know what I'm saying? This could be one of those dud weeks where we're just like, fuck, dude. The level of competition, the level of boxing is here, and we're gonna, or we might get them all right. I don't know. I don't know where I stand yet, because when I'm thinking logically, once again, just how I have my own logical reasoning when I'm betting about fighters moving up, and usually taking, the decision rather than the knockout when the guy's moving up. And I'm betting against that. I'm taking Ioka by knockout at $1.80. Jonathan Gonzalez here. 33 pro fights. And we know about my rules. I think you guys have similar rules. What did 2025 teach us? 2025 taught us that whenever you have a favorite who had this stellar amateur Olympic career with under 10 or 15 pro fights, whenever you have this guy going up against a true grizzled veteran, and the veteran has over 30 pro fights, we've seen this time and time again that the veteran has come out on top. So I'm going to check the odds in a second. Bomba, I mean, some boys in the Discord, like a couple sharps that I know, are taking Bomba. Just to let you know, 5'2" southpaw. You know, I don't like that he quit against Princess Alasquaga. He quit. I'm pretty sure if I remember that correctly, he wanted out, right? That's how that went down. He wanted out. But I know two sharps in our Discord who are taking Bomba, which I'm not saying I am. Let's pull those odds up. I want to hear you guys' take on this. It was ruled a no contest. I remember he had a gash above his eye. That fight was weird as hell. I know Cordova threw him off. Can you confirm with the women's fight? Yeah, so Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm and Stephanie Hahn are going, I think they're going 12 3-minute rounds. I think they're going 12 3-minute rounds. I'll double check. All right, so back to Rivera and Bomba. So these are the odds. Rivera's $1.45. Bomba's 2-1 dog. What are you guys seeing here? TJ, Chilltown Boxing. I have to read. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but a couple weeks ago we talked about this fight. I think he was leaning Bomba. He might have changed. And to answer Mike from Melbourne's question with facts, Holly Holm and Stephanie Hahn, they're 10 3-minute rounds. So 10 3-minute rounds. That'll be 30 minutes of boxing if it goes the distance. I think that suits Holly Holm. I think you guys know where I stand on that. I gave you guys my breakdown. It's up on the channel. You guys should know where I'm leaning. You guys should know my point and my perspective on Holm versus Hahn. I broke that down pretty in depth yesterday on our live stream. So anybody taking Bomba here? Bomba takers. Because I think I think I have to watch more tape. I need to watch the fight with Princess. Princess is a dog, man. He's a tough out for anybody. And my issue with Bomba is like I said, is mate, man, he got some tread on him, dude. My issue with Yankee Rivera though is I didn't like how frustrated he looked in his last fight. I think we were all kind of expecting him to make adjustments. His opponent was in his head. He was frustrated talking to the ref, talking to his corner. He kind of was like, psychologically, he kind of like tapped out a bit. And I didn't like that at all. "28 years old already. Where's the time go?" 28-4, Gonzalez. In terms of odds and guys with sort of, I mean, would you even say Yankee Rivera and Jonathan Gonzalez are household names? Not to the casuals, but like this is probably a fight. This fight and maybe the Stephanie Holly Holm fight are the two fights that probably have the most value in taking the dogs. But I think Holm handles it. I think Holm handles Han. I think she's just a level above. And I'm just kind of weary on taking. I mean, I guess Gonzalez is only 34 years old. He's not. I thought he was 38. He's not as old as I thought he was. What is this? A battle of Puerto Rico? Are these guys both Puerto Rican? So you could expect fireworks. Result overturned. Alasquaga lost. So yeah, somebody said it was a no contest. No, this was a TKO. At least that's what Tapology has it reported. I mean, he has a win against Rene Santiago. He got knocked out against Tanaka. I think that he should, like, the thing about Rivera's power, he kind of like, I don't want to say he slaps his shots, but it's almost like he catches his own punches. What did my coach used to call that? He kind of like I don't think Yankees gonna have like the power to worry him. Why am I forgetting? This was 2 Octobers ago. Guys, 2 Octobers ago in my world seems like a decade ago, just to give you a heads up. Overturned to an Alasquaga win, KO TKO, Gonzalez. Yeah, that's what I thought, guys. Gonzalez quit. He refused to fight. He said he didn't want to fight anymore. So they originally ruled it in. This is kind of akin to Charlie Suarez versus Emmanuel Navarrete, but in the Suarez-Navarrete outcome, it wasn't up to the fighter. It was the referee who made that call, and the judge who said that Navarrete landed, or that Suarez landed an elbow or a headbutt when it was actually a punch. And Suarez, dude, shout out to Charlie Suarez, mate. Talk about a guy who's getting a rough sort of, because Navarrete's not even fighting. Navarrete's, fighting Sugar. Not even giving Charlie that rematch, and Charlie was coming on in the 5th and 6th. So this is, why do I feel like Gonzalez quit here? You guys are saying it was initially ruled a no contest, overturned, originally ruled after appeal, Japanese commission. Guys, any one of you guys have, refresh my memory on this. The boy, here you go. Bomba gets me mad when he's right, dude. It's hard to bet on the guy. I feel like this out with a new Yankee should get the win. Are you betting on him though, Frankie? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna bet on him? Not saying you're a betting man. Michael went down against Saseda, who's a step up in competition, who's got a record of 12 fights, 5 wins. I may lean for the stoppage as well. Yeah, so we're back to the Ordosgoitti versus Ioka. See, for me, I really like Ioka, what he should do to the body. I think putting the punches together, working both levels. So that's where I'm kind of leaning as well. I don't want to be talking you out of your bet though, Pet, because records show you said points first. I don't want to talk you out. I feel like this is out with the old. We already saw that, Frankie Blue Eyes. They changed it to a TKO, but it was ruled a no contest at first. What's up, boss Christos? Thoughts on Diakira versus Garcia Balderas? Bet 3. I didn't see that. I'm not getting that fight. Balderas, this is another one of those fights when you look at the records. I haven't seen the odds though. Let's check it out. Ask and thou shalt receive. Look at the chat. Educated ass chat. Thanks, Christos. I didn't even see this. Okay, so I did get asked about this. Somebody in the Discord asked me about this fight. Kira versus Balderas. I think Balderas could be live here based on the experience. Let's have a look. I don't like impulsively giving out my advice if I really haven't watched tape. And this fight goes down in about 5 hours. So unless I jump on the ball here, everything we're about to say in the next 5 minutes is just going to be us speculating. If I do bet this fight, boys, if you're in the Discord, I'll put it in the Discord. I'm 100% taking Ioka, though, at $1.80 by stoppage. I'm taking Ioka, my method of victory, by himself, and I'm going to build a parlay for the weekend with him on it by stoppage. Just to let you know. This fight, I'm not convinced I'm going to bet on it yet. I'll let you know either way. We do have our long parlay that's still live. We started it 2 weekends ago. Inue's on it. Junto's on it. I think there's a fight from the Pro Box card on it. That's in the Discord, and then it goes to the end of the month. So let me check real quick. Day Akira. Damn, box rec is tripping. Three and 0. Yeah, I'm always hesitant. 3 and 0. 109 pounds. 5'4". '18 pro fights. Even Balderas. Ah, this is another one. Like I said, guys, this is the Shining Diamond versus Tsunami. You know what I mean? There's a connection with Mexican fighters and Japanese fighters. There's a connection vice versa. Japanese fighters going to Mexico to train and vice versa. It's always going to be a fun fight. You know, it's going to be a war. So I I just haven't taped him. Last fight in August. You know, he got stopped against Mosqueda. Damn, Mosqueda was supposed to fight this weekend too. I'm kind of bummed out. And he lost to Canizales. He fought Canizales tough though. And Canizales is a good guy. He's a real guy. He fought him tough to a majority decision. That damn July 2024 seems like it was 49 years ago for me. I have to rewatch that fight. You know, he turned in 2019. So he's going on to 6 years of pro. You know, he only has 3 pro fights. That's a tricky one, man. What are you guys saying? That's what I mean. He slaps his punches. Yankee slaps his punches. I don't like it. I don't like it because there's one thing what you do that as a technique. What that tells me psychologically is he's still figuring out the pro game. That's that amateur way to score. He's scoring points. I don't like that. That could come back and haunt you in a pro fight. The only clear winner this weekend I see is Ioka, but money line not worth the squeeze. 100%. I actually see the Han versus Holmes. Yeah, no, Han versus Holmes will be very close. I think it's going to be a barn burner. Perfect world for me, perfect scenario for me, because I'm high on Holly, is that it's a barn burner early to mid rounds, and then we're going to start seeing Stephanie Han fade. And then the predictions will come true, and then the glitter and confetti will come from the ceiling, and we'll celebrate. I parlayed Yankee and Subrio. Let's go. I'm on Team Subrio. Damn, these are like crossroad fights. You know what I'm saying? Even the fight tonight. There's a lot of these I guess if we had to pick a word for the next 7 days of boxing, these are like crossroads fights. Guys who or girls who have, either been at the top and, either have done good things at the top or have lost, and they've built themselves back up against guys who are, upward trajectory. And so one is going to continue on that, and the other one is going to, you got to think, let's say Ioka gets upset, he might retire. You know what I'm saying? So, and, Bamba, Bamba's only 34. I thought Bamba was like 50. So he's only 34, but it is in the lighter divisions. A 34-year-old in that division might as well be 40. So, and LA mixes, mate. I have no boys. Where are we watching these fights at? Somebody in the Discord put these up in our Discord, please. Where is what's our boy's name in the Discord who plays the fights? I haven't seen him in a while. Uh, God. Anyway, we have a couple boys in the Discord. Money Mayweather. Where's Money Mayweather when you need Money Mayweather out here? Money Mayweather in the Discord, man. He always comes through with the pay-per-view fights. But these are those obscure VPN fights. You need like I'm an old head. I'll be 44 in April. I don't know how to do all them little VPNs, signing up, putting in my password. You know, we're conspiracy theorists too. I'm not giving you my credit card details for a VPN. Next thing you know, you'll have the keys in my back door. You'll be in my gym when I go downstairs training. That's how crazy my mind is. So I don't do all them little VPNs and BTNs. You guys have to come and put it up in the Discord for me, mate. Somebody come through. Ioka Rivera Serrano money line. No one's even talked about Amanda this week yet. Everyone's talking about Holly Holm and Han, the fight tonight, and then Yankee versus Bomba. No one's even talking about Amanda. 50% return. Shit, Adu, you an archaeologist. Adu's out here seeking return value for us. We should thank Adu because 50% return, boy. No matter what your unit is, that's a 50% return. We all could eat. That's what we want. Wouldn't we all be stoked if whoever pays your bills, you saw that bitch 50% increase? You'd be like, yeah. So good looking. Adu, I like it. I like Ioka. I like Rivera. Look, off jump, Yankees should win that fight. Maybe if I'm down and I'm chasing, I have to get sexy. Maybe you pick the dog, but I like this. I like Amanda as well. I like this a lot. Frankie Blue Eyes. Han was a heavy favorite in the last fight, and she had us sweating in the Discord. Majority of us didn't agree with this. Bro, Han gets dropped in that last fight in the first round. It was super close. The announcers were what do you young bucks call it? The announcers were glazing her. See, in my generation, we would call that hyping you up. Be like, you guys shortened it. So growing up, the announcers were hyping her up or gassing her up. Yo, man, why they gassing this chick up? Or these announcers gassing this dude up. This dude got gassed up. You guys changed the word gas and hype to just glaze. Glaze to me sounds a bit too provocative. I ain't trying to. Where I come from, glaze. Back in the day when we was young, glazing meant something entirely different. It meant sexual. Glazing. Now glazing somehow replaced hyping. Anyway, I get your point. And I'm not high on Stephanie Hahn, dude. I mean, I broke it down yesterday ad nauseum why Holly Holm is going to win. Bigger. And you can't, just watch the video. I've been getting asked about it all week. You can't just go to her box rec and see she's 44 years old and that she hasn't fought for 13 years. That's the most casual take I heard all week. Was I heard some of the content creators who obviously telling the whole world that they only look at box rec. Holly Holm hasn't fought in 13 years. I'm like, bitch, you do know she fought for over a decade in the UFC. Became a world champion. You do know she wasn't shelved because when people say she hasn't fought in 13 years, they're reading that off the box rec and they're creating this rhetoric suggesting that she was shelved for 13 years. Active as hell, walks around with a six-pack, grew up in the gym, has stayed with her team since she was 18. She's been with Greg Jackson since she was 18. Hall of Famer in boxing, Hall of Famer in the UFC. I gave an argument yesterday why she is the greatest female combat sports fighter of all time. If she saw all this money coming into the sport, female boxing by Jake Paul and MVP, she knew that in MMA, even though she had made it to the mountaintop, she's a striker. Her knock on her was being able to stop the takedown. Her knock on her was, getting off of her back, the grappling side of things. She's a boxer, good kickboxer. She had good Muay Thai for MMA. And then she saw all this money. She said, why would I fucking, keep getting kicked in the head and keep getting, choked out if I could just go back and throw hands? And, why would I have to keep training 5-minute rounds when I could just train for 2-minute rounds? Like, I think these are 3-minute rounds, by the way. She's the bigger girl. She's a stronger girl. She's more technical. I like her backhand. I like her physicality. I like what she looked like in her last fight. I was actually impressed. Holly, in her last fight a couple months ago, I was impressed with how much activity she had. So I wasn't impressed with Stephanie Hahn. I got to be honest with you. She's the smaller girl. I think she's that last name, I guess, regionally or locally. She's Texas. She might have a sister or a brother with that last name. And then there might be a tie-in to, some announcers. I don't know about how that works. I live in Sydney. But I do know that she got asked to come back. And MVP, she's fighting for a reason. It's not like she's just having a go. Like she's always been all in. She's never been out of shape. She's a super athlete when it comes to the females, and I'm definitely not betting against her. So I'm high on Holly Holm in this fight. Who do you think wins between Ryan Garcia and Barrios? From a boxing perspective, Mario Barrios. Ryan Garcia is not a good boxer. I'm talking when I say boxer, I mean setups, traps, footwork, movement, game planning, plan B, plan C. Ryan Garcia is a hooker. He has a good lead hook. His feet are terrible. They're flat. Good hand speed, good lead hook. That's got him this far. Mario Barrios can box, man. Mario Barrios is a big dude, 6 foot tall, fights at 147. Ryan hasn't fought at 47. Did Ryan fight? Did him and Raleigh? Would him and Raleigh weigh in at what 145? I'm not high, I've never been high on Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a guy who stopped evolving in the amateurs. I always use Ryan Garcia as a cautionary tale in terms of personal development and evolution from a tactical perspective. When you have a guy like Deontay Wilder who got into the sport late and found out he just had atomic bombs in his backhand, he stopped developing skills all around his offensive game. When you're just starching people, touching them, why would you develop setups, feints, traps? Why would you develop your feet? Why, when your whole life you're being told that you could just shut people's lights off? And we saw that work for Deontay until it didn't work. And now that legacy that was once one of the most feared punchers of all time has turned into something else. And with Ryan Garcia, it's the same thing. Garcia's legacy, I mean, you see a guy, the comparison I'm making here is a guy like Deontay and Ryan who has a tool that is so good, that stands out so much that sometimes if you don't have the right people around you, if you don't have the right coaching around you, you stop developing other areas. It's easy to do what's easy for you. It's fun to train what you're good at. What's not fun is training the shit that you suck at. And so Garcia, the best way of putting it, and this is the coach in me, Garcia stopped training the things he sucks at, and you could see it in his fight style. So I like Barrios in that fight. Who do you pick, Liam Park? Right now, I like Patty Donovan in this fight, but the thing is, you got to think about politics. These are not my official picks. These are just off jump. That fight is in Australia. I don't like how Liam Paro looked against David Popo. Liam Paro, that 7-pound jump from 40 to 47, you really got to see it. He went life and death with a guy with a 20% knockout to win ratio in David Popo. His face was mangled. He really had to dig deep. I'm a big Liam Paro fan. I like his style. He looks sharp. But what I didn't like is when he was getting touched up, he started to fall apart. You started seeing that technique, 5th, 6th round, he started breaking a bit. And Patty Donovan, man, I thought he beats Lewis Crocker. I thought he beat Crocker both times. Granted, he got dropped in the last fight. He got dropped early in the first round, a bad drop where he walked in on something, got stunned, recovered, won round 2, got dropped again in the 3rd, and then I had him winning every single round after that. I think Patty Donovan, the younger guy, he's going to be a little bit bigger than Liam Paro, the naturally bigger guy. I like Patty there, but you do have to take into consideration the scorecards and the judges. That fight is in Australia. The best advice I could give you about that is when you're betting your hard-earned money on boxing, it's not enough these days just to do tape. It's not enough these days to know the sport and to actually train like we all train. You gotta look a little deeper, and you have to take politics into consideration. So as of now, I like Patty. When we get closer, I'll let you know. Han is still an active police officer. She doesn't train full-time like Holm does. Age won't play a factor here from. I totally agree with you, man. Holm is a savage. She's a killer. I think we're going to see levels. I would not be shocked to see a pouring it on late stoppage because Holm's heavy-handed. She's accurate with her punches. She's aggressive. Her conditioning's always on point. She's going to be the bigger girl, way more experienced than Stephanie Han. I'm a big fan of Holm here. I think that's easy money. Jeffrey Bravante, Ordosgoitti. And we talked about this at the beginning, Jeffrey. After this live stream, we're 45 minutes in. If you want to rewind back to the 4th minute, I broke down both sides of the token. Can he survive 10 rounds? He's never been in there with a guy as experienced as Ioka. This is only the 2nd time he's ever fought out of Venezuela. The first time was the WBC Grand Prix, and he lost the decision. He's only fought 4 guys of his 16 fights with winning records. I think there's a clear discrepancy in experience and quality of opponents. That's not even a shock to say, considering we know Ioka, a Japanese legend. Ioka, though, is coming up to a bigger weight class at 36 years old. He's coming off 2 losses. You got to think if Ioka doesn't win this fight, he probably retires. I do like Ioka's style. I like his body work. I think he could get Ordosgoitti out of there late. Skull fighting on the 31st. Nice. I like William Skull. This is going to be the most, of all those shit we just talked about, probably the most controversial take will be this one. I don't mind William Skull. I didn't mind the game plan against Canelo. I didn't mind him. It's called fucking boxing, dude. My dad put me in a boxing ring when I was 7 years old, getting bullied at school. I'm only you guys in the comment section, why do you always, and I never talk about race, but I have to reference this. In 1989, I'm 7 years old in Youngstown, Ohio. I was one of 3 white kids in my class. So, Youngstown, Ohio, it's an old dilapidated steel town. My dad was worried that I was going to get bullied. Brings me to a fight gym as a 7-year-old. I was the smallest dude up until I was 15, right? I had to learn how to fight, learn how to stand up for myself. And it was, props, shout out to my father, rest in peace. One of the greatest gifts he ever gave me was teaching me how to fight when I was 7. And I had to learn how to use the entire ring. You have to learn how to use the entire ring. I was a big fan of Floyd Mayweather. I was a big fan of Pernell Whitaker. I like movers. I like reflex fighters. I like shakurstevenson. I like Jermaine Ortiz. I like technicians. I did not mind the William Skull game plan against Canelo. Like, what is he going to do? Stand in front of Canelo? All right, Canelo, hit me. No, bitch, cut the ring off and fucking find me, bitch. It's called boxing. Find me. You are that good, Canelo. Cut this bitch off. Zero anticipation from Canelo's perspective. There's a thing called anticipation in boxing, just like there is in football when you're playing quarterback. You put the ball in a place where your receiver is going to be. You throw it at a spot. You don't throw it at a receiver. Same thing with your footwork. Dude, it's not like Skull was, changing directions the whole time. He feint, circling out. So anticipate that shit. Cut the ring off, and Canelo couldn't do it. I'm glad he's getting another good fight. Is he fight? He's not fighting our boy, is he? Oh, he's not fighting. Who's the Danish fighter we've been featuring on the channel? The pretty white dude. He might be. No, he might be Dutch. He might be from the Netherlands. He's starting to get pub now. I think Matchroom signed him. We featured him on the channel a year ago. We always win money on him. He's like a pretty white dude. His little daughter is like 6 years old. She comes out dancing. I can't think of his name right now. You never see Ryan training in the gym. He ain't about that life, boys. He's about that money, though. Got to make that money, man. That money, man, is still the same now. Got to make that money. Think about back. Do you have, not yet, big dog? Not yet, Lloyd. I have a feeling Garcia may not listen to Derek James. He does the best he can. Look, Derek James is not a drill sergeant. Derek James is more like a facilitator. So in terms of his coaching style. So some guys need facilitators. Some guys need fucking drill sergeants. Mike Tyson needed a drill sergeant. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia needs a drill sergeant. He doesn't need a facilitator. I don't think that's not a good matchup. But Garcia at the same time, silk sheets. He's not going to go to a coach. He's not going to go to a camp that's going to challenge and test him. I mean, why hasn't he paired up with Robert Garcia? Wouldn't that make sense? I mean, go to RGBA. Go to Abel Sanchez. Like, go to Benavidez Sr. He doesn't want to be challenged. He doesn't want to be the B-side in a gym. He doesn't want to, you can tell he doesn't get beat up. You got to be able to get beat up. I think everyone, at least most commenting on Holmes and not boxing for more than 7 years, knows about our own care. The reference is more readjusting back to the different patterns of movement. Time. Yeah, I get all that. I don't know, man. I've heard some awful takes not saying that. That's you, that's your perspective. But boxing as a striker in MMA, other than, the biggest difference with that going from lifelong boxer to being an MMA fighter to back to boxing, that's actually a good thing for Holly, because what she's able to do now is sit down on her punches. In MMA, and this is why, non-pure strikers and even punchers in MMA can't punch, is because they have to worry about getting taken down. They have to worry about sprawling. They have to worry about checking leg kicks. So they can't ever sit on their shots. So if anything, Holly, it's like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? You think all those years down in Jackson, she's not hitting that heavy bag, sitting and digging? That da, 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 da. I think it plays into her game. Skull did amazing against Canelo. Just had nearly bro. I still can't see all that. So many people hated on that performance. I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at the performance. and his shoes were off the hook. I talk about it all the time. Every time William Skull comes up, I talk about those Gold Dust shoes. Those Gold Dust. That dude, the guy's marketable, man. All bodied up, dude, in shape, professional, got good footwork, man. Get that dude a big fight. There we go, fighting Jacob Bank. I'm gonna have to look into it. We know how Holmes is. I'm talking about 3-minute boxing cardio. I mean, I grew up boxing. I also wrestled in high school. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't. Wrestling's way harder. Grappling is way harder. It's a different energy system. Now in MMA, you do have room for breaks. You could clinch, you could hold. That's the only difference. There are no breaks in boxing. That's why I love it. I love weaponing. This style, my boxing style is I weaponize my cardio. The minute you start seeing a sparring partner take a breath, I'm leaning in. Start breathing hard. I'm fucking coming close. I'm clinching. I'm fucking drowning you. I love it. So I think Holly's going to use that against Han. But Mike, are you going for Han here? Curiel versus Rocha. Odds are near even. Curiel is with Robert Garcia now. Fight of the year. Canyon is barely going to be in January. Curiel money line all the way. Great fight, man. I haven't even got to look at that, Frankie B. Haven't even got to look at that. Skull was never going to win fight. Yeah, Skull was never going to win fighting like that versus Canelo. He needed to throw. True, he fought too negative. But there's two sides to that coin. I guess I was defending the side of people saying William Skull will never fight again. Like the promoters were trying to say ban him, blacklist him. You're acting like that he got caught doing steroids. This is how fucked up our sport is. Promoters, you guys can find the old tweets. We're tweeting like William Skull will never get a big fight again because he fought negatively. It's like, bitch, what about the dudes who are known drug users? You guys just keep getting them big fights. Fuck out of here. Skull did fight negative, but it's also it takes two to tango. Canelo was still in that goddamn ring. It's not called knockout. It's called boxing. Where the F is that? Guys, I got to make an announcement. I need everybody to re-sign up to the Discord. If you're in the Discord, it's an honor system with some of the boys, with some of the OGs. You guys know who you are. I know who you are. It's a couple bucks a month. Re-sign up. I'm going to do an announcement in the Discord. Just make sure you're supporting the channel. Make sure you're paying to be there. It helps me out, dude. This is a passion project. I put a lot of energy to this. I appreciate everyone. We're 53 minutes in. We're floating between 30 and 40 people. That's all I could ask for. And it is New Year's Eve on my end. I want to say Happy New Year. I want to be the first one to tell you guys in America, I hope your 2025 was amazing. I hope your 2026 is even better. Surround yourself around people who love you. Surround yourself around people who want the best from you. And we got a lot of big things in front of us. And I thank you for being on this journey with me. And like always, let's get it. I'll see you boys soon.